Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Level Up Your Mental. My name is Ariel, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor. And today we're going to be talking about Kobe Bryant. And the reason why I wanted to talk about Kobe Bryant is because I believe his death and the person that he was really had an effect as far as when it comes to the mental health of a lot of people, especially the Black community. The effect that his death had on the Black community, especially on Black men. When you talk about Kobe Bryant, a lot of people, like in the picture, would say that he is a legend. He is a big person when it comes to the basketball culture, and especially in the Black community. Anytime you ask somebody who is one of their favorite players, somebody is going to say Kobe Bryant. He is one of the top people that somebody will always say. And I think part of it is because of the way that he carried himself and what he represented. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is because now that I am really have taken the time to understand basketball and get into basketball and really take the time to understand the culture of basketball and the people and what the impact that they have on men just in general, you really see why Kobe's death impacted people a lot, and it really just caused a lot of emotional pain for some people, and some people are still dealing with it today. And so today I wanted to talk about Kobe Bryant and his death and just him as a person and how it affected the Black community. One of the things that I see as far as when it comes to the Black community is that we have said that Kobe Bryant represents us because he came out there and really showed us what it was to love the game, love your job, show up no matter what. Doesn't really matter what you're going through, you're going to show up and you're going to do the best that you can when it comes to doing your job and the things that you were passionate about. And he was passionate about basketball, and you can see that. And you go back and you watch all his videos and everything and how he talked about basketball and his IQ and how everything worked. You can tell that he was very passionate about his game. And for a lot of men, especially Black men growing up, who really love basketball, that was one of their idols, right? He really showed up and said that, called himself the Black Mamba and created the Mamba mentality, which is basically, perseverance, really pushing through no matter what. Kobe would, hurt himself and break a finger or whatever, and he would get right back into the game. Now, not everybody is like that, but he was able to show that no matter whatever it is that you're going through, you're going to show up and you're going to do the best that you can. And that really resonated with a lot of people, and I can understand why. And one of the things that I saw when really looking into his death and how it affected a lot of people was how it affected the Black community. And one of the things that was said is that a lot of people in the Black community suffer from prolonged grief disorder. And this basically means it's the same thing as going through grief with losing someone, but with prolonged grief disorder, it lasts longer than it would any other typical grief, right? And so with someone who has prolonged grief disorder, it usually comes after someone has passed away, of course. Even though Kobe is not someone that is technically close to us, a lot of us start to build relationships with celebrities, people that we see all the time. We idolize them. We love who they are as a person and how they show up, and they tend to be close to our heart. And so when they pass away or something happens to them, it hits people a little bit different. And so with prolonged grief disorder, a lot of times, as far as when it comes to the characteristics that come with this disorder, is the person will be wanting or thinking about the deceased person all the time. It's something that they can't really seem to let go, right? They're always thinking about it. They're preoccupied about it. They want that person to come back. And it also comes with an intense emotional pain as far as sadness, guilt, anger, denial, blame. It's all of that stuff that we usually go through grief. And for a lot of people, we know that grief has different stages. Everybody goes through different stages. Sometimes you might go right back around again, right? And so everybody's experience is different. But in the sense of prolonged grief disorder, a lot of times within a couple of months, people seem to get a little bit better when it comes to grief. Not saying that you're not still going to be feeling some pain, but a lot of times people are able to adjust in the sense that they go back to work, they do what they need to do, they show up in the sense like that. But then there's other people who it really affects them to the point that even 6 months and beyond, they're not able to function well. And they're still feeling that pain as if the first day that the person passed away or that first week, And so I don't think it's as intense when I say that as far as when it comes to men in the Black community. But I think part of it is that anytime we think about basketball, anytime his birthday comes around, anytime the day that he passes away passes around, it hits everybody. And just thinking about him and the thoughts that people have, if they wish that he was here to be able to teach people. Not only that, to be able to see his daughter be part of the basketball world and what that would have looked like. And so for a lot of people, it's the representation and the fact that, I think a lot of people, when it comes to grief, is they feel like they didn't get to appreciate the time that the person was here, because you don't really think about death and the person passing away and what that looks like until it's like visibly seen, of course, in the sense of when someone gets sick, or if you get older and people are like, okay, this person could possibly pass away. But in your normal day-to-day, people don't usually think about, oh, okay, let me go spend time with this person because they might pass away. And I think the hardest part with Kobe's death is that it was so sudden. Nobody thought it was going to happen. We weren't, nobody knew that it was going to happen in that way. And with it being so sudden and so tragic, and the fact that people didn't really get to deal with it, and it was just something that you had to accept in the moment, I think a lot of people had a hard time adjusting to that, which is normal. And so I bring him up to just let people know that your mental health is going to be affected in different ways, and it's not necessarily something that has to do with people who are close to you. It could be someone like this who has represented so many different things, and people tend to look up to those people, and so when they pass away, it feels like a part of something is gone, and it's really hard for some people to adjust, especially with the fact that the basketball community definitely, or a lot of people in the basketball community, will say there will never be someone like him. And I think also part of it is that, he wasn't just a basketball legend. He was an example of hard work, achievement, motivating a lot of people to just pursue their goals, whether it had to do with playing basketball or just exceeding in your own life. That mentality that he had, that Mamba mentality, really resonated with people. And I think it was because he was able to talk that talk and also walk that walk. He went on the court and showed us exactly what he was talking about, and he was great at his job. With his passing, many of the people have just struggled with trying to find motivation, or just finding someone who's like him in order to motivate them. And that makes it even worse for their grief and just the sense of loss, where it's like, wow, somebody that I thought that I could, be as strong as, or someone who is a great model, is now gone. How do I deal with that? What do I do with those emotions? Like, how do I manage that? And for some people that can be very hard. And so I think this is exactly what it shows as far as when it comes to the Black community, especially for Black men, is that it hurts as far as when they, see him and they see videos about him. It hurts because a lot of them really, it made an impact on them. And the fact that it was so sudden, it was very painful. And it kind of just leaves them with that feeling of, a lot of times people will think about, like I said before, that they took things for granted. And one of the reasons why I highlight Black men is because Kobe was like, their constant reminder that they can do whatever they want. They don't have to fit into the box that society wants to put them in, right? He was, their childhood friend, their superhero. That's all they needed to tap in. Whenever everything else was going wrong, they would look at him like, oh, Mamba mentality, I got this, I know what I need to do. And I think for them, it was just very hard to be able to deal with that, and the fact that it happened so quickly. And so a lot of them definitely attached themselves to him, as if he was family. And that's the thing about it, is it can be very hard. It's not like you're doing it on purpose. It's, you tend to attach yourself to people even though you don't know them. You just go based off of their work ethic and the way that they present themselves. And so I think between his mentality and the person that he showed up as, it really just said a lot as far as to us as Black people, that we can show up in these spaces. We are able to persevere and be strong and be successful. No matter what it is that we're going through, we shouldn't allow these things to stop us from getting to the work and doing the things that we are supposed to do. And it's definitely easier said than done, but I think it's important to highlight these people that we call legends, that we call GOATs, and really show people that it is normal to have emotions when it comes to things like this in your life, and not it being a weird thing. And I think that was one of the things with Kobe's death, is that everybody felt some type of level of pain, and they all shared it together, and they were able to come together and realize that this person really made an impact, and you know, it's definitely going to be something that continues to hurt people for a long time. But I think if anything, using him as a way to keep yourself motivated, keep yourself positive will always be something that is there. You know, you can always use that mentality for whatever it is, and just being able to have the archive through the internet and things like that to be able to look up his old footage so he can motivate you. I think that's something that we are forever grateful for, and something that we can look back on, even though he's not here with us presently. So I think it's important when people say to give people their flowers while they're here. And I know he definitely got that a lot from people on a regular basis. It just will always hurt, I think, for a lot of people that he's still not here. And there's so much more things that I think people said that they feel like they could have learned a lot more from him, even though he definitely left some gems. I think for some people, they just felt like he had so much more to say, so much more things to show us. And now that he's not here, that's really hard for people to understand. And I think it makes it even harder that we don't have somebody that, you know, technically embodies that. But I did hear, as far as a lot of people saying that Anthony Edwards is definitely showing up, and I'm not going to say Anthony Edwards is him, but he's showing a lot of those characteristics that I feel like Kobe would have admired. You know, he's able to talk that talk and be on the court and do what he needs to do, and he's showing us what it is to be passionate about your game, showing up and talking all your ish and going back and forth and being able to show up and be, you know, the face of the NBA and what that looks like, and showing people that, you know, you got to tough it out, you got to do what you got to do. This is basketball, and if something that you're passionate about, show that passion, you know, put the effort in there, get what you need to get out of it. And I think right now we are seeing that, and I'm hoping to see the longevity of Anthony Edwards and what that looks like. But I'm having a lot of fun watching him and seeing what people are talking about when someone is able to talk all that talk, put in the work, show up and do what they need to do. But not only that, they're able to show you what it's like to be passionate about something and to really show up when you are motivated and you're able to get things done. I know people also say that about LeBron James too, and I think that we are, you know, seeing a lot of greatness in front of our eyes. And even though LeBron is still pushing and, you know, doing everything that he needs to do to show up, there's going to be a time where he does retire, and I think a lot of people are going to be hurt by that. But you know, it's life, it tends to happen, and hopefully we will continue to build some more greats, and these kids will be able to have people to look up to and people as great representations. But I think at the end of the day, we have people like Kobe, Michael, and LeBron, Anthony Edwards, all the people that are doing great things on the basketball court, to be able to show our men, to be able to show our black men that, you know, you are able to push through things, and you're able to also enjoy your life and be passionate about the things that you're passionate about, because this is how we deal with our mental health. And so I just want to thank you guys for watching another video. This was a short one, but I thought it was very important to just highlight what Kobe Bryant represents, what prolonged grief disorder means in the black community, and you know, how we can use this thing to be able to push through everything, because we know not every day is the best day, and you know, life is gonna life, but at the end of the day, we are going to be able to make it through. We are going to make it out on the other end. Please join in on the conversation, leave any comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.